and still.
Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour on ESPN is being brought to you by Roberta Dorn, the official makeup artist of the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour Fall Tour. By True Value Hardware. For quality, selection, and personal attention, make True Value Hardware your store of first choice. By English Leather, a man's cologne and aftershave, because some guys have it all. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And welcome, everyone, to Sam's Town Bowling Center in Las Vegas, Nevada for today's championship round finals of the $125,000 Sam's Town National Pro-Am. Now let's meet today's top 5 finalists making her 6th appearance in the championship round this year. It's 3-time champion Wendy MacPherson of San Diego, California. Her opponent in the opening game is last year's runner-up in this event in Las Vegas, Lorrie Nichols. 31-year-old Donna Adamek of Victorville, California, will start from the middle of the pack in search of career win number 16 today. While 27-year-old right-hander Paula Drake of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, will be seeking her first ever national title. And, of course, holding down the top seed position is Robin Romeo of Van Nuys, California, who will need to win just one game this afternoon in order to collect her biggest professional paycheck ever, $30,000. Hi, everybody. I'm Denny Schreiner, and welcome to the final LPBT event on ESPN here in 1988. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, a town of big money, and working with me once again, Leila Wagner. And Leila, basically, in the short span of 5 years, this event has become a traditional one.
Oh, it has, Denny. I tell you, it's developed into such a prestigious event. We've seen an increase in prize money and a record number of entries this week at 177 players.
It has to be very difficult to make the championship round here. We've already talked about the size of the field, but the ladies also bowl 10 more games in this tournament than they do in a normal event.
They do. They qualify with 28 games, then we go into 24 games of match play over a 7-day period. It's a grinding experience.
Well, unfortunately, great careers are usually measured in major championship wins. Robin Romeo has 7 victories already in her career, but she's never won a big one. Today, she's on top of the stack.
Well, Robin's had such a successful career, however, to win that major title would just put the icing on the cake for her, and I think she's really out there today wanting to win it, and I think she can do it.
Well, back in 1985, she finished second in this event, so she'll look for a big title here today. Coming up, though, the opening match between Lorrie Nichols and Wendy MacPherson. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
For great personal service and low everyday prices, check the lineup at your neighborhood True Value hardware store, where the November True Value of the Month is their Master Electrician 20-foot cord reel and trouble light. Now you can bring the light right to your work. You can plug in a power tube, and you're protected by a 7-amp circuit breaker. In November, get the Master Electrician 20-foot trouble light for just $12.66, where you see the banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Don't wait for something good to happen. Make it happen with the clean, masculine scent of English Leather Cologne.
Some guys have what others want. Some guys have it all.
English Leather. Some guys have it all.
Nature's light. Bathing fields of grain. Enriching full, fresh hops. Giving life to sparkling streams, nourishing all the natural things that go into making Bud Light. The light beer that's beechwood aged for a clean, fresh taste that makes Bud Light the one light that outshines them all.
Pros depend on their equipment to make the most of their bowling skill. That's why more professional bowlers use Robbie's gloves. The exclusive designs of Robbie's original automatic positioner, Robbie's Plus, and Robbie's Gladiator guarantee a strong wrist and arm position. The comfortable natural contours of Robbie's gloves improve aiming accuracy, assure consistent release, and give you more rolling and mixing power. When consistency counts, count on Robbie's.
And welcome back, everyone, to the land of slot machines, Las Vegas, Nevada. Denny Schreiner along with Leila Wagner for the final LPBT event here in 1988 on ESPN. Wendy MacPherson and Lorrie Nichols in game number 1. And Leila, every game in this championship round is very important.
Oh, it is, Denny. With the prize money that these women are shooting for, you can bet that every ball is an important ball.
Now quickly off the start, Wendy MacPherson with a strike on lane 19, the championship pair, lanes 19 and 20. First good look at Lorrie Nichols, and she had to be very disappointed last year. Leila led the tournament and lost to a tough Debbie Bennett in the championship.
Well, Denny, Lorrie has finished second in the last 2 major events we have had. The U.S. Open, she lost to Lisa Wagner last year, losing to Debbie Bennett. I tell you, her luck for the majors hasn't been with her the past few years.
Yeah, it's funny talking to her husband last night. Terry, he said, you know, she's cost her about $40,000 a couple of second-place finishes, and boy, what a great year she could have had, perhaps, if she'd have won the U.S. Open rather than Lisa Wagner. Of course, Lisa went on to win a record $105,500 here in 1988. Lisa tied for 6th, just missing the telecast here this week. Both players have opened up with an X. Lorrie tried to double up and fortunate not to leave the 2-8-10.
She just got out the 10 there, and she was fortunate. However, she does leave herself with a difficult 2-8 spare. Now, Lorrie's a very direct player, so she'll be able to go pretty direct at it and have a good shot at covering it.
Shooting it from the left, and that one hooks a little bit early. 2-pin leaves, but the 8-pin stands, and Lorrie Nichols with the first error here of match number 1.
And as I say that, like you said, her ball hooked early in the center of the lane, and you can tell here that Lorrie is not pleased with this. It was, oh, no.
2 ways to shoot it, obviously cross lane or down the left side. She chose the left side, and so she opens up. Jump on a very early lead. That one is inside the target. As soon as it leaves the hand, leaves the 3-6, and so both players with kind of a funny shot in the second.
Wendy Denny is actually our youngest player on the telecast at only 20 years of age. She's been on tour for just 3 years and a very successful career thus far.
Takes out the 3-6 here. You mentioned she's the youngest player, but she's already got a wealth of experience, Leila. She really is a solid player in pressure situations.
She is. She leads the career TV percentage record with 12 wins and 4 losses, so we don't see her lose too much on television.
And you know as well as anybody else, the key to a successful career on the LPBT Tour is bowling well under pressure and on national television.
Well, it helped Wendy when she came out in her very first tournament as an amateur. She won the U.S. Open, so what a great start.
Obviously build on that confidence. Good shot on the left-hand lane. And she now leads by 12 sticks.
Wendy's a very direct player as well, and she's just going right up the second arrow. Her ball not doing too much, except flush in the pocket.
Gonna need some help there. That was left immediately in a bit of a cave-in. Runaway Brooklyn that time for Lorrie Nichols, and that brings a smile to her face.
She got a lot of help, Denny. I think she was lucky to hit the head pin on this shot. Lorrie on lane 20 was almost pointed that shot. Good look at her game there. She's a very compact player.
Trying to close the gap, and instead a gap between the 4, the 6, and the 10. So the left-hand lane is a problem for her, Leila.
It looks like the left-hand lane is definitely hooking more than lane 20. Lane 19, she's playing the inside line between the second and third arrow. On lane 20, she's almost pointing up the second arrow. So we found a difference in pairs this week, and it seems these players are finding a difference in lanes.
So out of nowhere now, Wendy MacPherson jumps out to a 24-pin lead. We'll be back with more from Sam's Town in Las Vegas after this timeout.
My place or your place?
My place, of course. My place has delicious food and cozy dining. Fresh homemade pizza with a variety of toppings oozing with mozzarella. Hot and cold subs, spaghetti, rigatoni, stromboli. And My place has specials like mouth-watering manicotti and fresh veal parmesan. Plus, you can eat and relax in the dining room, or My place has takeout available with a convenient drive-through window.
Let's go.
Where?
My place, of course, with 5 convenient locations.
Dear Wrong Way Travel, thanks so much for booking our trip to the island. The hurricane was a real treat. Wish you were here. Really.
Don't let an inexperienced travel agency ruin your holiday. Plan your next vacation with Worldwide Travel. Our knowledgeable staff are travel consultants and spend time with the people we serve. We find you the lowest prices, have over 100 group discounts on cruises, and offer free ticket delivery to corporate accounts. Next time, go with the people who know. Worldwide Travel in Lancaster and
More than $2 million is on the line at the final event of the season. The year's hottest golfers compete at the Nabisco Championships of Golf. Saturday afternoon at 2:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
And while we were away in the 4th frame, Wendy MacPherson with a pretty good shot on the right-hand lane. A little bit of a swisher, but she did leave the 7-pin. Spared that up and leads comfortably right now at the midway point. She likes the left-hand lane, pretty obvious. She's thrown 3 very good shots on that lane.
Yes, and this is the difference in the players in their games, Denny. Lorrie having the problem on lane 19 and Wendy hitting lane 19. So what works for some doesn't always work for the other.
Well, 7-pin stands, and you can see Leila made that observation that instead of swinging the ball to the right on the right-hand lane, Lorrie Nichols is trying to actually point it, make it go a little bit right to left, and that's not her normal game.
No, it isn't. She likes to have a little bit of a baby swing, and or pretty much straight up the boards, and as you can tell there, it wasn't exactly what she wanted to do.
And basically she's doing that because she doesn't feel the ball's going to finish on the right-hand lane?
Yes, evidently, Denny. I asked her earlier how the lanes were in comparison to previously in the week, and she said, well, they're hooking a little bit more than they were yesterday, and she seemed to be pretty lined up. Right now it looks like her ball's hooking too early, you know.
Trying to get something started. That's a little better shot, but the half-10 stands. Lorrie with 13 career titles. He's been one of the most consistent players on the tour for many years.
She's just being inducted into the Hall of Fame in May, and this is probably the biggest thing that's happened in her career.
Boy, it's amazing how many pins she knocked down here this week, Leila, because she made the top 5 with an 11-13 match play record, and now she misses in the 6th, and what started out as a possible dream victory here is quickly turning into a nightmare for Lorrie Nichols.
Lorrie's success here in '88 on television just hasn't been what it used to be, and you know, missing shots like this you just can't do against players at this level.
Looked like Wendy maybe cut that one off a little bit short with the arm swing, breaks up the split and leaves the 6-10. And just in case you've joined us, opening game here at Sam's Town in Las Vegas, the National Pro-Am, $30,000 for first. Donna Adamek qualifying number 3, Paula Drake number 2, and on top of the 177-woman field this week, 31-year-old Robin Romeo. So plenty of bowling left here at Sam's Town in Las Vegas. Cross lane covering up the 6-10, and it's a 36-pin lead. And right now, Wendy MacPherson is yet to throw a double, and she's way out ahead.
You know, that's happened to Wendy quite a bit on television, Denny. You know, she does have such a great match play record, but I think if you go back through these matches, a lot of them were not won with high scores. And, you know, so I guess it just doesn't always take a lot of strikes to win.
Well, she's hit the pocket 4 times in a row on the left-hand lane. Her whole family here today, mom and dad, a brother and sister, and her fiancé, so she's got the home support.
Well, she's from nearby California, San Diego, so they didn't have to travel too far.
She's averaged almost 210 per game on national television, which will win you a lot of matches. I think she feels very comfortable on national television, and we'll be back with a conclusion here of game number 1 from Samstown, leading by 35. It's Wendy MacPherson.
How can you help build a better women's professional bowling tour? By joining the new Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour Booster Club.
As a Booster Club member, you'll receive an official LPBT Booster Club t-shirt, a subscription to LPBT Booster Club newsletter, a copy of LPBT's souvenir program book, and much, much more.
To help build a stronger women's tour, send your check or money order for $30 to this address. Or better yet, call 1-800-333-LPBT to enroll today. Visa and MasterCard are accepted.
There's a level of performance that separates the good from the great. That's why Carmen Salvino designed the Ebonite Thunderbolt. The exclusive power core increases gyroscopic action for a sharper hook on heavy oil. And the Thunderbolt rolls farther before hooking, so it hits harder for less deflection and more striking power. The difference between good and great is the power of the Thunderbolt.
And Lorrie Nichols now standing up in the 8th frame, left the 4-7 and converted it in the 7th. And there's a look at the players and how they stood round by round. And Wendy MacPherson coming a long way. Robin Romeo just basically took over and stayed there. Now moving much further to the right, much further out now in the left-hand lane is Lorrie Nichols, who finally strikes.
She needed to make those moves a little bit sooner here, Denny. However, it's kind of squirrely out there, I think, and when she made the move to the left, I think the ball hooked a little earlier for her. And normally when your ball is hooking, you usually move your target and your feet left, and in this case, it didn't work.
Through the nose, the 3-6 again, the second time. She also left that in the 2nd frame, and she doesn't seem to want to trust it on the right-hand lane either, Leila.
No, here's a nice look at Wendy's game, Denny. She uses a lot of the approach, gets a lot of power from her leg work, her speed.
Doesn't get that swing into much trouble either. It's just basically shoulder high and keeps it in play all of the time. Lorrie taking a good look at the scoreboard above. Lorrie's maximum score would be 194 if she strikes out. Right now, Wendy working at a 197 clip.
Now, Wendy liking lane 19, and like you said, Denny, she isn't trusting it on lane 20, and she needs to. However, when you feel that you can't really trust it very much, it's difficult to free up that arm swing.
Oh, 10-pin toppling there at the very last moment.
And she got a love tap from the 6th pin. A nice pin action here as the 6th pin is just going to love tap that 10. 10 wasn't sure if it really wanted to go.
Oh boy, critical shot, and crossing over Brooklyn, the right-hand lane. It's been a very much a mystery for Lorrie Nichols. She continues to shake her head. She just never did figure out lane 20.
It looks like both lanes have really been a mystery for Lorrie, as we saw her go through the beak on lane 19 earlier, leaving a split and leaving a 2-8, so...
Well, lanes 19 and 20 been a fairly consistent pair throughout the tournament. The 5 finalists averaged just a little better than 205 per game throughout the event on that pair, and Lorrie was about 206, but right now she's going to struggle to shoot 180.
I can tell you her husband Terry is in the audience, and not a happy camper at this point in time.
Well, he just fights with every shot and just loves to watch Lorrie bowl. He's a great competitor himself, and it's awfully hard to sit back and watch what's happening here in this opening game, but well, sometimes it just goes that way, and I think what you're going to find is Lorrie, when she gets back into the swing of winning a few times on national television, she's liable to win 10 or 12 in a row. It just seems to run in cycles.
It does. It was just a few years back when she had one of those good cycles, and that head pin there just slid right in front of 10, and there's her husband, Terry. Not looking too happy.
Feeling worse now than when the Blackhawks lose, obviously. 150 for Lorrie Nichols, and if you'd have bet me that that's what she was going to shoot here in game number 1, I'd have taken my earnings right up to the tables and put it on a hard 8, huh?
I don't know. I've seen you bet, Denny. I don't think you would have taken your earnings. Maybe $5.
Solid 10, but it doesn't make any difference whatsoever for Wendy MacPherson. And now kind of nice for her because she can pick this up and maybe make a minor adjustment or maybe try something a little different on that fill ball because she's already won.
That's right. This gives Wendy a nice opportunity to make an adjustment, not having to worry about sacrificing anything to do so. And she's got a tough competitor in Donna Adamek coming up.
Lorrie packing up, as it were, but a $5,000 check. Always nice to take home 5 big ones.
That puts Lorrie's earnings for this year up to almost $45,000. So that'll be a nice yearly income. It's wonderful that the women are now making quite a bit more money out on the tour. Wendy MacPherson is in the $30,000 range, ranking 7th. So it's just we're seeing more and more players in those top dollars.
196 to 150, a big victory for Wendy MacPherson. Coming up next, Donna Adamek, and she'll be ready to go.
Hold Sue Bee honey up to the light, and you see nothing but pure, natural U.S. grade A clover honey. Light, golden, as nutritious as honey can be. And it's filtered for consistent quality. Maybe your family won't know that when they enjoy the natural sweetness of Sue Bee honey. But you'll know. Sue Bee honey. Purity you can see and taste.
For great personal service and low everyday prices, check the lineup at your neighborhood True Value hardware store, where the November True Value of the month is their Master Electrician 20-foot cord reel and trouble light. Now you can bring the light right to your work. You can plug in a power tool, and you're protected by a 7-amp circuit breaker. In November, get the Master Electrician 20-foot trouble light for just $12.66, where you see the banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
ESPN is your ticket to the NFL when the Minnesota Vikings and Dallas Cowboys go head-to-head. The Vikings' Anthony Carter lights the fuse on a team just waiting to explode. Deep in the heart of Texas, Herschel Walker bulldozes a clear path for the Cowboys. The Minnesota Vikings and Dallas Cowboys battle head-to-head on NFL Sunday Night Football at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
You want to talk about some All-American girls. How about Lisa Wagner, Leanne Barrett, Betty Morris, Tish Johnson, and Lorrie Nichols, and, of course, the svelte Jim Dressel there presenting the awards here this afternoon.
And he's loving every minute of that, I tell you.
Yeah, he takes advantage normally of anything he can, and told me he's already dropped 15 pounds, going on a little diet before the holidays, and said he wants to lose a few more, and we won't even recognize him the next time we see him.
I think he's working so hard, Danny. That's what he told me.
Yeah, he told me they just finished up assembling that 348-page 75th edition of the Bowler's Journal that'll come out in December, and that is a tremendous job, and that's going to be a spectacular magazine.
I think I'll be reading it from December till February.
We can work on that for a good 2 or 3 months. Taking on all those airline flights with us, right?
Exactly.
Well, I think what's unusual about the magazine itself, though, is that they're going to have biographies of the 75 top people that have been involved in the sport of bowling over the last 100 years. And so for those of you who are looking at the historical perspective of this fine game, it'll be an interesting edition. And there you see the apparatus on the right arm of Donna Adamek. She's had some problems in the past physically, and she's back to 100% right now, and she'll need it because Wendy MacPherson will provide the opposition here in game number 2. Picking up right where she left off, a solid strike on the left-hand leg.
Now, we did see Wendy strike 3 times on lane 19 last game, so if she has a favorite lane at this point, that's it. Denny, the apparatus that you mentioned on Donna's arm, I was asking her a little bit about it, and it was for her tendonitis problem that she has, and this brace enables her to keep from locking her arm as she normally does when she throws the ball. So it doesn't bother her now as long as she wears the brace. Good look at Donna's game. Once again, very powerful player for being as small and short as she is. All from the legs. Watch her come through the ball. Tremendous amount of strength.
Goes to a harder surface ball for the spare attempt. Nice opening shot on lane 20. Solid 10. Donna this week in a high game of 298, so she's been in the neighborhood. Made a great run last night to get to the telecast and qualify in the number 3 position, just 1 pin ahead of Lorrie Nichols. So very exciting position round game last evening.
It wasn't until about the 5th round that Donna actually started to come on strong.
Only 2 good shots. This time she gets a better result on lane 19.
And a good shot of how much power she actually has. Donna likes to swing the ball, her ball going from the left to the right, as it just sets right in the pocket, and all 10 pins gone.
Mm-hmm. That magic act, huh? Now
The
they're here,
mighty
now
might.
they're not. Yeah. Well, she's a nice player. Almost looked like the old Roy Buckley fallback shot there.
Now, Wendy playing a more direct line to the pocket than Donna. As you notice, Donna went from inside to out. Wendy is just pretty much straight up the board. She looked like right around the 10th to 12th board there.
And gets a little help. The 9-pin goes, so she starts with the first 3 and leads by 20.
Looking for the help here. Watch this 4-pin. As it just topples over and gets the 9.
Little nudge there at the last moment. Well, Donna Adamek is not going to be able to waste much time in this match. Right back at him. Needs a strike here. Oh, tough break there. 5-pin dances to the left of the 7 and comes back.
A great shot, Denny. 5-pin just swished right in front of the 7. And that was definitely a bad break there for Donna.
She's got a bit of a temper, too, doesn't she, Leanna? She is really competitive.
She is, and, you know, that's what's got her where she is, though. That's her natural instinct to be that way, and I think that fires her up and makes her such a strong player.
Yeah, she's aggressive. Spent some time in Akron, tuning up with Fred Borden before she came out on the fall tour, and obviously that instructions helped her a little bit here.
Donna has also worked with Tasha Kinjo for many, many years out in her hometown of L.A. area.
Well, this is a hard luck city at times, and right now, Lady Luck, gee, she must have packed up and moved to Canoga Park because very good shot there.
I tell you, Denny, this 5-pin is supposed to take out this 8 and watch it just fly right in back of it.
Just drove it straight back.
Wow.
Wow, boy. Whew. Gotta wonder. Just label in the pocket right now. And to show for it, 1 strike in the 2nd frame, and she trails by 21. Well, let's see if Lady Luck returns here to Samstown in Las Vegas. When we come back here, we're in game number 2.
Hey, Mark. I see you got one of those rhinos. Next thing you know, he's going to tell us it's got horns.
Unleash your game. Roll a rhino. The Rhino. From Brunswick, a urethane ball designed for professional and high-performance bowlers.
BASF videotape. No matter how many times you play it or record over it, even after 500 plays, the original brilliance always comes through on BASF.
the brightest amateur figure skaters in the biggest international competition since the Olympics. A dazzling display of rising stars. Skate America, Monday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
We'll get you back to bowling in just a few moments. Right now, Tim Brando in the college football studio to bring you up to date on some scores of top 20 games that are currently underway on this Saturday of November. West Virginia and Rutgers are tied at 7-all. Ron Allen, a 92-yard kickoff return in that ball game. LSU has just scored to take a 7-3 lead over Mississippi State, a 1-yard run by Victor Jones in Starkville. Meanwhile, Illinois and Michigan, a Rose Bowl ramification, get together, and let's show you what happened in that game. Demetrius Brown at quarterback, already leading 3-0 with the touchdown pass to Chris Callaway, 6 yards. And right now, the score is 10-0. The Wolverines with the lead over the Fighting Illini. Syracuse and Boston College and BC got out to the early lead, but right now the Orangemen getting it done. Robert Drummond with a touchdown run. Johnston also with a touchdown run. They lead 21-10. Clemson and Maryland, that game now moving on, and Clemson and Maryland 14-13 at halftime. Let's get back now to Denny Schreiner and Lila Wagner and more bowling in Las Vegas.
And thank you much, Tim Brando. An update there. College football, and there we see Mr. and Mrs. MacPherson waiting nervously for their daughter to come up here in the fourth. She's now started with the first 3, trying to remain perfect. That one's going to have to skid, does not, and leaves herself a bit of an uncomfortable conversion here in the fourth.
That is an uncomfortable conversion, Danny. The ball here could either slide away from her or she could chop it. So she needs to take her time. With the way Donna's lined up, Wendy can't afford any open frames.
Nice conversion of the 3-6-9 there. That's a touchy, very touchy spare.
It is when you're really not positive of what the ball is doing in your strike shot. And Wendy's had 3 strikes in a row now, but we saw her in the first game having a bit of trouble. So she's not sure really if this ball is going to go into a slide early or else if it's going to hook. And it did just what she wanted it to do.
Very deliberate there on the left-hand lane. Maybe a little slow down for her. Those feet start getting moving a little quick, don't they, when the heat's on?
They do. She says she gets a little over-anxious at times and she needs to just settle down and relax more.
Once again in the pocket, this time a little high, and Donna Adamek has left just about everything here, Leila, in the first 5 frames, a 7-pin, an 8, a 10, and a 4.
Well, and she's talking to herself.
Yeah, I would be, too.
I would be. I tell you, she, for this major title, and Donna is not foreign to winning major titles. She's won the U.S. Open twice and the WIBC's Queens Tournament twice, so this one would be a nice icing to her career as well.
Oh, my goodness. Misses the 4-pin, and that's catastrophe for Donna Adamek in the 5th.
You know, sometimes, Danny, after, 4 solid hits of not carrying, you just don't think when you get up and shoot a spare. And, boy, that was just a sliver there. And I'm sure she thought about it, but that ball just sailed.
Tried to lean into it, but you see the look of her face as she turned around. She knew that was a shot that she needed to have back. Well, she now trails by 30. Better get it started. Through the nose leaves the 6, and well, I tell you, Wendy MacPherson probably licking her chops right now, realizing that Donna has already opened up. And when you're sitting on the bench and you get those unforced errors, you gotta love that.
Oh, you bet. Especially with the way Donna has been hitting the pocket and not carrying. Wendy's got to say, hey, maybe it's meant to be. I'm supposed to win this match. And it gives her that much more confidence to get up and throw the ball.
So we're just now past the midway point. Coming up next, Paula Drake, 27-year-old right-hander out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, looking for her first ever national title. And then, of course, on top of the field this week, Robin Romeo.
trouble. Her last attempt going high on lane 20. That one flush in the pocket as she threw the 6 right around the 10. A very good hit by Wendy.
You can't get into too much trouble as long as you continue to hit the pocket, right?
That's right. What you don't want to try to do is try to adjust for those good hits, like I think what Donna did up in the on lane 19.
It's tough, though, isn't it, Leila, when you just have one game and you just say to yourself, you know, I've got to do something to strike here. It's hard to remain, I don't know, I guess conservative in that kind of a situation, especially when you're at the halfway point.
You do, and carry here was very crucial this week, Denny. The players that were able to carry it, it had a lot to do with ball speed, and they had too much ball speed, kind of like what Donna has at this point in time. It just hit the pins too hard, and they seemed to jump on you.
Oh, boy. We've seen enough solid taps already, haven't we? And obviously somebody wasn't too crazy about that one. A little screeching from the background. Somebody either hit the jackpot or got hit, one of the two.
Hope it wasn't Nick, her fiance, on that shoot.
Boy, look at that.
That was an instant replay of the last frame, too. Boy, 2 great shots.
10-pin thought about leaving. 6-pin just wrapped right around. Cross lane she goes. So a couple of 10-pins in the 6th and the 7th. She leads by 29, and we'll be back with the conclusion of game number 2. Can Donna turn it around? Well, we'll have to wait and find out.
Your den is the center of your home. Carpet Den is your complete home decorating center. Stop in today and view their huge inventory of carpeting, vinyl floor coverings, decorative wallpaper, and quality paints from Martin Senior and Benjamin Moore. Carpet Den carries a veritable spectrum of colors to assist you in completing your home decorating needs. Plus, window treatments for every room of your home at your complete home decorating center, Carpet Den. Stop in today at 1644 South Market Street in Elizabethtown.
While you're waiting for your old boiler to die, you could be wasting $600 a year. The revolutionary Energy Kinetic System 2000 boiler is so much more efficient than your old boiler. You should save $600, $800, $1,000 on heat every year. Clean, safe oil heat. And you can have as much hot water as you need for as little as $12 a month. Don't wait for your outdated, inefficient boiler to kick over. Kick it out. To find out more about Energy Kinetic System 2000, call Newcomer Oil at 367-1138. The smart way to heat.
And we're back with live action from Samstown Bowling Center in Las Vegas. The $125,000 Samstown National Pro-Am. A wall shot attempt that time. The 7-pin stands. And we've seen just about everything from Donna Adamek other than strikes here this afternoon.
And it's not that she's not deserving of them.
No, that's a frustrating game right there. Missed the 4-pin. That was crucial, though.
Donna actually took off in 1985, Denny, till last year when she finished 3rd in this particular tournament. So she's been very successful here at Samstown.
Well, you wouldn't know it by her carry here thus far, but there's a very good shot. Well, you take a look at her 16 career titles, Leila, and she has not won a title in 5 years.
Well, she hasn't been out on tour, Denny, in actually 3 of those 5 years. So we have to give her that amount of credit. But she's back very strong, and see a lot of Donna now.
Fall back shot again on the right-hand lane. I wonder if she's trying to play it that way or if she's just setting it down inside of her target.
Wendy actually sets the ball down pretty short towards the foul line, and I think this helps both to fade back in a situation like this.
Oh, my. Almost came up with the break of the afternoon. I think she's pleasantly pleased, though, with just the 10-pin.
A big smile on her face there as watch the head pin here. Sidewall, 6, almost 10. Not quite enough.
Well, a 2:16 pace right now for Wendy MacPherson. Should Donna Adamek strike out in the 9th and the 10th? Uh-oh, she could shoot 2:16. Now the big opening. The door swings open in the 9th. Both players have missed a 1-pin spare. Now, Donna Adamek could win if she strikes out.
This ball sitting inside the target as it slides, and this is what she did not want to do at this point.
Well, what a big turnaround right now. If Donna strikes, she's in the hunt.
Looking to carry this one. And she actually got a break. It wasn't a bad shot, a wall shot, which should carry a few of those light hits now and then.
Well, you'd think you would. She's been unlucky up to this point.
The ball actually in a slide, Danny, as it hits the head pin, but enough action on those pins to get them all down.
Big key now not to get too juiced up, to relax and throw your normal shot here. You got to take them one at a time. 2 more strikes in 9, and she closes her out. Well, there's the first one in the 10th, Leila. What's going to go through her mind now for the big shot in the 11th?
Well, she said, if you gave it back to me, and fighter that Donna is, she's going to take a deep breath, and most likely she's going to be in the pocket.
A strike and 9, and she comes out of nowhere for the victory.
What a turnaround.
Good shot.
Oh, my. Kicks that 7-pin out now with 9, Leila. She can head on to the semifinal game. Oh, my goodness. Wendy MacPherson right now is just going to be lamenting.
Watch the power here as the 5-pin goes into the 7 this time. She's running it out, and she knew.
Boy, head pin was dancing that time as well. Key shot here, 9, and she advances.
Can you believe the turnaround in this game, Danny? Donna Adamek just closed Wendy MacPherson out, and a big smile on her face as she says, probably justice.
Well, at this level, you miss a 1-pin spare late in the match and give somebody an opportunity. They're going to take advantage. Wendy MacPherson really probably almost in shock at this point. And she will finish up 4th here, and Donna Adamek will move on to the semifinal game and take on Paula Drake. Oh, boy, and has the impetus now and the confidence, perhaps, to really give Paula Drake a run for her money.
Well, Donna actually was in the hole every time, Denny, but 1 frame in that game. So realistically, she could have had a 279 game.
Boy, and a player of her ability, when you give her a chance to come back, and she does, and she starts believing in herself, oh, she's going to be a handful.
You bet. Last night, she beat Lorrie Nichols by 1 pin. Actually didn't win the game by 1 pin, but it was a 1-pin difference.
Final score, 216 to 202, and this is the one that really clinched it here in game number 2. Absolutely perfect shot, and now it'll be on to the semifinal game for Donna Adamek, and I have a feeling that she's going to be ready to bowl here in the semifinal, and if she wins that one, she'll head to the title match. We'll be right back.
Okay, listen up. Oakley Hill's filling in for ball tonight.
For 3 years, Bill Oakley took orders. But tonight, he's got to stand up and take charge.
You make America work.
Here's to you, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser. For all the guys who know it's not what you say, but what you do.
Daybreak at your morning blaze, all over the land. A fresh, hot way to start your day. Get your boogie along and on your way. A good time, a great taste. Breakfast at my morning place. A good time, great taste of McDonald's. Good time, great taste. Breakfast at our morning place. A good time, great taste, yeah, of McDonald's.
Don't wait for something good to happen. Make it happen with the clean, masculine scent of English leather cologne.
Some guys have what others want. Some guys have it all.
English leather. Some guys have it all.
ESPN opens the door on a college basketball season slam-jammed with color and excitement. Friday, the ball gets rolling with a sparkling triple-header from the Dodge Big Apple NIT. Then Saturday, the Hall of Fame tip-off classic pits Duke against Kentucky. The color and excitement of live college basketball and ESPN. The right combination.
And let's take a look at some of the other finishers here this week. Sam's Town and Las Vegas. Oh, look at that. Wagner and Fleming tying for 6th.
That's great. And as you can see, all of the 56 cashers as we go through them.
Uh-oh, 24th, Lisa Vint, our head statistician.
Good tournament, Lisa.
From Australia, Carol Giannotti, rather, and Tish Johnson there, finishing up 38th, along with Dana Miller, rather. All right, semifinal game. Donna Adamek, who has used up one of those 9 lives. She did so in game number 2. She'll take on Paula Drake here, and the winner of this one will bowl in the championship game for $30,000, so maybe even more pressure just to get there than bowling in that match. Two, 4, 5 for a moment.
Donna giving it the room and actually getting the break that the 2 and the 5, the 4 and the 5 toppled down to leave her with only a 1-pin spare.
It's amazing how loose that arm swing gets, isn't it, when you win a game, a clutch game, and throw a couple of big shots?
Oh, you bet. She's got to feel very comfortable now.
Guarantee she's going to work a little harder on those 1-pin spares, too.
She actually feels that this is the weakest part of her game, is her spare shooting. We've seen her miss quite a few 10-pins on national television throughout the last year or so, and she needs to work at it. I mean, on the other hand, Paula Drake feels spare shooting is her best part of her game, so...
Oh, boy. That's a nice opening shot there. Paula wincing a little bit with a solid 10, and she will flat just come out and get you this one.
Yes, she flat out came out and got me. On her first career television appearance, she shot .299. She doesn't take much time, and she sets up on the approach and goes.
All right, breathes a sigh of relief. Led this tournament for a while here this week and felt like maybe she could take it right to the telecast, but Robin Romeo went berserk about midway through this one and took command, and she pretty much ran away from the field, but a very solid week for Paula Drake.
Actually, Denny, Paula out-averaged Robin Romeo. Paula averaged .210. Robin only averaged .209, but Paula's match play record was only 12 wins, 11 losses, and 1 tie. So those bonus pins made a big difference here this week.
She could obviously win Miss Congeniality here this week. Got to win those match games, especially in the major championships.
You bet.
It's kind of amazing. You figure that she was 12-11-1. Lorrie Nichols was 11-13 and still made it to the telecast. That's hard to do.
A lot of good competition out there, so you don't see quite as many winners for match play records.
Plenty of practice at the 10. Didn't even wait to see that one pick it off. Turned right around. Outstanding job by the local media and the national media as well this week. Several of the writers from all over the country here at Sam's Town. Dick Evans, of course, a former president of the BWAA. Joe Liu here. Almost a half hit that time on the 10. Even match if she converts this 10-pin.
We can't forget Jim Wyckoff,
Nope.
a good friend of mine from Arkansas.
Don't want to do that. Chuck Pisano was here for a while this week. He, of course, headed off to Indianapolis, where the PBA Tour is this week.
Donna comes back with a little...
For a waning moment there, she hung in to make sure that the ball stayed on the lane. You've mentioned that she has had problems in the past with the corner pins on national television.
She missed one here in 1986 to let me go on and match up against Dinah Wheeler, who in turn beat me.
Did you finish third that year?
Finished third that year, 1986.
One last look as she heads back to the end of the approach, and that is a disaster on the left-hand lane.
We saw Lorrie Nichols have a little trouble on lane 19 with the ball hooking early, or this ball just took a sharp turn to the left.
Boy, it's almost that classic over-adjustment. She missed the pocket a little light with the opening shot in the game. Going to try and go for it. Oh, boy. And that one she set a little short, it looked like, and it hooked through the nose. So at 4, 6, 7, 10, and she ends up with only one of the bunch. And that match went from even to plus 17 in a big hurry.
Paula having a tough sophomore year here in 1988. Her earnings are only $8,000 thus far, and she's ranked 25th on that earning list. This is a big, big day for her.
Through the nose on lane 20.
Paula, like I said, just getting up very quickly, doesn't take much time. Gets the ball low in the swing. Uses a lot of the approach. But she is low. And she has a lot of power there, but she doesn't stay down at the line as she raises up. Not a lot of knee bend, but she's accurate. And this is one of the bonuses in her game.
Well, Paula is your doubles partner.
Yes,
You're pretty familiar with her game.
I told her if she would have bowled like this when we bowled doubles, I would have been out there bowling with her right now.
It never fails.
That's all right. Paula's a great person, and she could win Miss Congeniality on this tour. She's well-liked by all players.
You know, she's got a nice attitude. She goes out there and does everything she possibly can to compete and win, but 5 minutes after it's over, it's, hey, let's move on to another day. A little better speed. This one, oh boy, cuts through the nose again, and it's the opposite number. It's the 610 this time.
Actually getting the break there, Denny, could have been a little disastrous, so she's trying to help it. Paula has 2 children, Lisa and Laura, at home, I'm sure, watching their mom bowl on television.
Okay. Everts. The chop right there, and so she leads by 13, sits down, but she won't have time to catch her breath. We'll be right back to Las Vegas after this.
How would you like to have 7 of bowling's greatest pros show you how to improve your average? Now, a new video, Bowl Your Best Game. Produced in association with the American Bowling Congress, world-class instruction from 7 of the greatest bowlers ever assembled. Featuring Mike Albee, Jeannie Maiden, Virginia Norton, George Pappas, Leila Wagner, Dick Weber, and host, ABC Hall of Famer Earl Anthony. You'll get instruction in equipment, grip, stance, step patterns, delivery, targeting, strikes and spares, adjustments, and mental games. Plus, you'll get a special bonus section featuring Pro Talk with candid conversations by the pros and legends. Rare footage from the Bowling Hall of Fame. Order Bowl Your Best Game now. For rush delivery, call toll-free 1-800-333-3000 and let the pros improve your average. Call toll-free 1-800-333-3000.
17th on the LPBT earnings list this year. Donna Adamek trying to add to the old cash register here today. About some help from the 6. Not going to be there. She trails by 13 at this point, just trying to regroup after the disaster in the 3rd.
I think a lot of times you make that adjustment for that high hit, Denny, and you come back with what we call flat 10, where the 6-pin just lays in the channel. Not quite getting enough drive, but what you're trying to do is not get it to drive through the head bin.
Cautious moment there. Well, what a Unbelievable year, though, for the LPBT. Lisa Wagner becoming the first woman ever to win over $100,000. National television on ESPN throughout all of 1988, and what looks to be a terrific year in 1989 for the ladies on ESPN.
That's right, going to 26 events next year, Danny, 18 of them live on ESPN. It's going to be a wonderful year. A lot of traveling, though.
Trying to get something started. Good shot there in the tip. Sense that the crowd's trying to get into this one, Leila, but they haven't had much to cheer about.
Mr. and Mrs. Drake, the gentleman back in the back there, and the lady in the green and black.
He leaned into the shot nicely there, didn't he? Trying to see what happens on this shot here. Oh, boy, he probably wishes he would have stayed where he was. Oh, boy, big mistakes of both players. They've had a big split.
This ball cutting right through the heart, Denny. It does appear that the inside of the lane is hooking quite a bit. And the ball's just going right through the heart of the pins. Saw Wendy do it a couple times as well.
Boy, it's tough to say right now if the pressure of all the money that's building is creating these problems, or if the players at this point just aren't throwing good shots. Awful hard to tell from where we are.
Well, Paula that time probably let up a little bit on her speed. It looked as if she did throw it a little slower, and she wasn't able to hold the line as she was previously.
Game number 1, Wendy MacPherson defeated Lorrie Nichols 196-150. Game 2, Donna Adamek with a come-from-behind victory over MacPherson 216-202. And we're now in the semifinal game. The winner takes on Robin Romeo for $30,000. Brooklyn side. 9-pin, the last to leave, and I have a feeling Paula will take it.
A big smile from Paula as this ball hooked over. Now, she didn't make any adjustment off of her high hit on lane 20 as this ball actually hooked more. The 9-pin topples, and all right.
Looks like a left hook coming right there, doesn't it? Yeah. This is a key shot here, and a ringing 10 in the 6th. Ooh.
Excellent shot, Denny. We saw Donna do it a little bit last game as well, and she just really has not had very much carry here in the last 2 games. However, she did get them when she needed them.
Tournament average this week, 206.4. Her match play record, 15 wins, 7 losses, and 2 ties. On national television now, 24 wins, 14 losses, and 1 tie.
Donna's best finish here in 1988 is 5th in the Lady Ebonite Classic earlier this year in Atlanta in March.
The bucket on lane 19, and after you go through the nose, you want to give it a little room, and when you do, whew.
She gave that ball quite a bit of room. And watch how this ball's going to end up sliding. Good shot of Donna's approach right there. She's trying to help it.
Never seems to work, though, does it?
No.
Well, not the way you draw it up, but she'll take the spare.
Well, with as many bad breaks as Donna has thus far, that was a good one for her.
And so we'll leave as the dinner bucket leaves at the very last moment. We'll be back with more of the semifinal game right after this.
Buzzard's Gulch was drier than the red-hot desert ground. Old hombre named Mackenzie came riding into town. His saddlebags were loaded with the best crew ever found. And he ambled up to the bar and bought the house around.
To beat the desert heats, Bud's moseys on up to Bud Light. He knows everything else is just a light.
Much obliged for the Bud Light, cowboy.
For great personal service and low everyday prices, check the lineup at your neighborhood True Value hardware store, where the November True Value of the month is their Master Electrician 20-foot cord reel and trouble light. Now you can bring the light right to your work. You can plug in a power tube, and you're protected by a 7-amp circuit breaker. In November, get the Master Electrician 20-foot trouble light for just $12.66, where you see the banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We'll get back to bowling in just a few moments. Isn't it ironic? On a day we have bowling, we have teams bowling for dollars for bowl money in college football. Let's start now by showing you some action from the top 20. West Virginia now trailing Rutgers 10-7. They just kicked a field goal, did the Scarlet Knights. LSU and Mississippi State. Tommy Hodgson has been intercepted twice in this game. Tigers right now winning despite that fact at Starkville 7-3. Illinois, Michigan, the Wolverines now leading this one 17-3. Everyone getting into the act for Bo's boys today. Georgia Tech is now trailing Wake Forest 21-10 the score. Duke and North Carolina State out of the ACC. Wolfpack have the 1-point lead over Airball and Steve Spurrier's club. Ohio State and Iowa 21-14 right now. The Hawkeyes have the lead there. And don't forget a CFA doubleheader coming at you today, beginning with Pitt and Penn State at 4:30 Eastern Time. Then we'll follow that in the prime time with Wyoming against Houston. We'll be back with some more scores later, but right now, we've got to get back to more bowling.
And special thanks to Tim Brooklyn Brando for that update on college football from Bristol back here in Las Vegas. A semifinal game of the Samstown National Pro-Am. And Paula Drake right now leading by 3.
And these women are bowling for dollars as Paula comes back with a flush strike.
And obviously a key strike because now it's a double. Took advantage of the break on the Brooklyn.
Yes, she did, and this is just what she had to do. She got a good break there in the 6th frame with a Brooklyn strike, and she just came back with an excellent shot.
Paula gets a little excited.
Trying to apply the vice. Oh, no, not the solid 7. Best shot maybe of the week for Paula Drake in a clutch situation, and she comes up with a 9 count.
And what we say, she just paid back her Brooklyn. Oh, what an excellent shot. A solid 7, Denny. The pins all flying straight up. They forget the 7 along the way.
Yeah, she could have increased the lead to 23 right there in the late stages, but right now she's going to have to settle for the 7-pin. You mentioned the money here this week. The loser takes $10,000. The winner of this game, if Paula Drake wins, she'll earn twice as much as she has the entire year.
That's right. A very, very big day here for Paula. And like she said, hey, I'm just glad to be here. And that's the kind of attitude she has. And she's worked real hard at her game all year.
A little more direct here on the right-hand lane. A nice adjustment there, and there's no time like the present to keep striking, and Donna has to double here to put some pressure on Paula Drake.
Well, last time on lane 20, she left a flat 10. Definitely making the adjustment here. A little more rotation on the ball, and there was no 10-pin on that shot.
Possible 208 if she strikes out. She started from the 8th in the last game to defeat Wendy MacPherson. Stood up on that one. Is there enough speed? Oh, my goodness. Tripped out that 4-pin.
Well, if you've ever seen a frozen rope by Donna, I guess that's what it appeared to be, as she did stand up, and there was a lot of speed as that ball was definitely high in the pocket, and she got the trip off the 4, and that was a big break there for Donna.
Like a Roger Clemens fastball there, huh? That one got there in a hurry.
Denny, Paula can close the doors on Donna, as Donna did to Wendy.
Nice start in the 9th, and I think she feels like she was robbed in the 8th with that classic shot when she left the solid 7.
Oh, you bet. But knowing Paula, I'm sure she said, yeah, but hey, I did get a Brooklyn, so.
And that head pin came whistling off one more time, didn't it?
Amazing now how she needs 2 strikes and 9 pins to close out Donna.
We've heard that before.
Just Leslie.
Not going to happen. 3-6-10, and now the main problem presenting itself is spare up at this stage and get as many as you can with your fill shot.
Really not hitting her target, Denny. She was inside her mark, probably a little slow. It was a big shot for her, leaving herself with a very difficult 3-6-10 spare.
Nice coverage there, the 3-6-10. Count very important now. Possible 190 if she strikes. Obviously, that's going to force Donna Adamek to get at least the first strike in the 10th to advance to the title.
Paula's checking the score.
Well, not her best effort, but 188. She leaves the 310 there, and it's pretty much all come down to one shot now for Donna Adamek, who responded in game number 2.
Now, this was a good thing to do, Denny. Donna didn't feel quite comfortable. She's readjusting. Start over.
Oh, and she got the tap off the 6th pin.
Well, the 10 pin at the last moment falls, and Donna Adamek going to bowl for the title.
A good shot, Denny. Ball not driving quite as much as we saw her last shot. As the 6 pin lays in the channel, not sure it's going to come up and get it, and it does.
Well, not much of a circle shot, really. She was going to hit the pocket and take her chances. I think that's probably the one thing I saw in that shot. A tough week there for Paula Drake, who wins $10,000 and can only dream about what might have happened had she carried that solid 7. Mixer, and now the fun begins for Donna Adamek, who with a strike would shoot 208, and there you see, feeling fortunate indeed, and for this fine champion, she's going to be in the hunt for title number 16.
Well, last night, Denny, like I said earlier, she needed to throw 9 pins against Lorrie Nichols just to get in to be position number 3 instead of number 4, and she was able to do it, so she can strike also when she needs it.
Loosens up, never fails. Who cares about the solid 10 there? 207. So it's 207 to 188. Paula Drake exits with 10,000. But now the stage is set. It's Donna Adamek and Robin Romeo for 30,000 big ones.
At Lancaster Lincoln Mercury Mercure, the resale value of the '89 Scorpio is guaranteed. Yes, the world-class Scorpio's resale value, in the tradition of other fine European imports, is guaranteed by Ford in writing. Can your dealer make that statement? Lancaster Lincoln Mercury Mercure, through the factory, guarantees you if you keep your Scorpio up to 4 years, what the resale value will be. That's protection from Lancaster Lincoln Mercury Mercure, where Mercure XR4 Ti is now reduced up to $3,000.
Hawthorne Electric has the 4M approach to getting your job done right. Manpower. Our electricians are highly trained professionals averaging 12 years in the trade. Management. From president to administrative assistant, we're dedicated to customer service. Machinery. A fleet of radio-equipped trucks and sophisticated equipment gets the job done faster. Materials. Our 4,500 square foot warehouse stocks over 4,000 different items. Hawthorne Electric, serving your industrial, residential, and commercial needs since 1952.
Suns are rising, biscuits are baking, birds are singing, and you're just waking to the good time. Great taste, breakfast at home.
Good morning. Welcome to McDonald's.
The good times taste of McDonald's.
Right through the tire, Greg. To be the best, you have to train constantly. Leadership demands continuous learning. Way to go. In sports or in business. We're Siemens USA, training our customers and our 27,000 employees to stay ahead in advanced electronic and electrical technology. Because when it's time to perform, there's no substitute for solid training. Right through the tire, Greg. We are Siemens USA.
The shores of the Pacific Ocean and the one-of-a-kind Monterey Peninsula, home to Carmel and scenic and historic Monterey, and the historic Pebble Beach Golf Links, home of the $2 million Nabisco Championships. Live third-round coverage is coming up next at 2:30 Eastern Time, where we have 30 of the world's best. The top 30 money winners of this year, all here, vying for $360,000 and a first-place check. Live coverage next.
And welcome back, everyone, to Sam's Town. Robin Romeo taking her final practice shots before the championship game. The first ever woman to win $100,000 in a season. Lisa Wagner. Lisa, what a year for you.
Oh, thank you very much, Danny. It was an unbelievable year. Everything went right.
Everything except this week when you finished sixth. You had a chance for the show. What happened late last night?
Well, I guess probably got a little tight. It's a lot of money we're bowling for out here today. And probably got a little tight, a little too fast.
Okay, now we finally have both the Wagner sisters here today, and you can see now this one's married to Kent, and I'm sure that Leila has a question for Lisa Wagner.
Well, Lisa, such a great year in '88. What are your thoughts going into '89 with 26 events?
Well, certainly I would hope to reach 100,000 again, but let's go for 200. Why
That
not?
sounds good.
Why not?
One final question, perhaps. Both Leila and I have struggled at the tables here this week. Could you loan us some money before we get out of town?
Danny, struggled myself a little bit.
What about Kent's PBA tour here in the fall?
Coming up, he has a World Open
All right.
next week. He flies out today. I'm going to meet him there Sunday, and then on to Columbus.
All right, well, you got to tell him to pick up the slack a little bit. He's got to win as much as you do. Now let's move back to live action here. Robin Romeo and Donna Adamek in the championship game. And we want to thank Lisa Wagner for stopping by to chat with us. She's heading down to Boulevard Bowl in Edmond, Oklahoma tomorrow to participate a little bit, and then she'll be off to the World Open as well to watch Kent this week perform in Glendale Heights. Well, the breaks that she was not getting early on, well, maybe in the championship game, Leila Wagner.
Oh, I tell you, well, she deserves them. She was not getting them earlier, but what goes around comes around, and I think maybe this is what Donna's thinking as she gets into the final match.
Big game here for Robin Romeo, who led this tournament virtually from the midway point right through game number 52. A little high and leaves the baby split. Not what you want to start with in a championship game.
Well, I crossed next to Robin most of the tournament, Denny, throughout qualifying, and she was sure solid throughout the week.
She's had an outstanding record in this event. Finished second back in '85, and said that this week, really, her concentration was very good. Right there you see it, picking up the baby split. Tough offering here in the first frame.
Robin's another player out here that has such a great attitude, Denny. She believes right now that everything's going very well in her life, and that's why she's been bowling so well. We saw her do great in the summer, and she won the Tempe Open. And she's had a real good year here in '88.
A little more room on the left-hand lane. Oh, no, not the 4-5-7. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. The 4 and the 7 wiggle a little bit, but not much of a result.
We're making a little adjustment off the 3-10. She moved in a little on lane 19 and not getting the ball to finish. She leaves herself with the 4-5-7.
Cross lane she goes. Oh, no. Right around the 7. Tough break there. She just really fit it in there nicely.
I tell you, that's a heartbreaker when you put the ball right between the 4 or 5 and the 4 goes around the 7. Really should have covered it there in my book.
Well, that's about as bad a break as you can get. Yeah, making the best of an opportunity. A clutch double very early on, and Donna Adamek quickly out to a 24-pin lead.
Well, you know, Denny, Donna's actually had the best shot to the pocket of all of the finalists here tonight.
Need an accountant this week, don't you?
I would have liked to have pocketed one of those checks. However, at least I cashed.
Hoping for 3 straight, but leaves the 10-pin here in the left-hand lane. Boy, Robin Romeo is going to have to hit the floor running, isn't she, in the 3rd and the 4th?
She really is. Donna's throwing the ball too well right now, and I think she does have the confidence going in this game. You know, she's 4-time Bowler of the Year from 1978 through 1981. And I think she's starting to feel some of that confidence come back.
I think you're right. It's been a long road back for her physically, and, you know, mentally, when you lose your confidence, I don't care how good a player you are, when you have to make that comeback, it doesn't normally come in leaps and bounds. It's usually a progressive thing.
Robin Romeo, the only LPBT player to qualify for match play finals in every 1988 tournament. And with the talent out here, I tell you what, that's not easy to do.
Well, she's playing a little further right than she did throughout most of the week, and she's not really swinging the ball either. So the angle that she played throughout 52 games here this week is not the one that she's playing right now.
And the one that she did play throughout the 52 games was the one that Robin Romeo feels most comfortable at. Ooh.
Well, that is really a problem. Back-to-back open, she misses the 6-10, and she's going down for the third count right now.
This is very unusual to see Robin miss a spare. She backs the ball up usually towards the 10-pin or the 6-10. And here, as she backed it up, that ball just went into a slide. And we saw Wendy MacPherson miss the 10-pin the same way.
My critical mistakes. At least that one was. Well, not quite enough speed, and breaks up the split and leaves the 6-10.
Another look at it. Here you see as she actually backs the ball up. She doesn't do anything to her spare shooting. This is how she converts most of her spares. However, in this case, they backed up a little too early.
Now she's got to come back and shoot the same thing, and converts the spare. Well, problems in the 2nd and the 3rd for Robin Romeo, and it's a 35-pin lead. Boy, what a turnaround quickly. You would have never expected that in this championship game.
I think for Robin to sit off on the sidelines for the past hour had to be a little nerve-wracking. It was her first major title that she's going for at this point.
Right back at him in the right-hand lane. Solid 10 on lane 20. You know, this, of course, being the final LPBT telecast on ESPN here in 1988. Plenty of folks to thank. John Summer, of course, John Falzone, Bill and Lisa Vint. What an outstanding job they have done throughout the entire year. And, of course, she's not felt very well this fall, but Fran Wolf, our national tournament director, back home here in Las Vegas. Going to get a chance to get checked up, get a little rest here. It's a very tough job traversing the United States and trying to keep track of 125 players every week.
I can't keep track of myself, let alone someone else, or 125 players.
And no question in my mind, producer George Smith and director Kent Samuel, two of the best in the business. And there you see a good look at Fran, a re-rack in the offering perhaps here on lane 19. And so Donna Adamek gets the rack.
Looked as if Donna was trying to get Fran on camera there as we were
I think that was part of the deal there. I think Fran probably paid her for that. But no, all kidding aside, of course, John Calabrese and JT are stage managers throughout the 88 season. And, of course, in the truck, Jan Bernowski, who made the finals this week, qualified 24th and climbed the ladder a little bit. And special thanks to all those people for supporting us and giving us all the wherewithal to bring you the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour on ESPN. Well, she's going to be tough to beat from here on out.
And that's Mr. Adamek there and Mrs. Adamek. And they have been behind Donna for years. I remember her bowling in junior tournaments at the age of 17, 18 years old, and they were right back there the whole time.
A little more loft. Oh, boy. 6-7, and Robin can do, at this point, only just smile wryly.
Here, like I said, trying to move in a little bit, but the ball hooked a little early on her. Never got the ball swinging out to the right, so it went through the head pin.
Well, this one is a waltz right now for Donna Adamek, who had to strike out, 2 strikes in 9 in the 10th to get by Wendy MacPherson. Then she had a real tough match with Paula Drake, and now is just going to walk right into the title game and $30,000 here. She leads by 48 pins. Oh, boy.
Well, Donna said with the money, she would just like to bank it and put it towards a new home. So
I know one thing. If this keeps up, she better start shopping for a real estate agent.
Actually, she really felt that the title, since she hadn't won since 1983, would mean more than the check. But I don't know, $30,000. I kind of think the check would mean a little bit more than the title.
2-4-5, and Robin walks back. Boy, what a tough thing it is. There's John Falzone. Looking splendiferous indeed, huh?
I told him I thought he looked like he owned one of the casinos here.
Well, the way he was playing the other night, he may own one before it's all over. Classic shot there. Double up in the 6th. And this one has turned into a runaway for Donna Adamek.
And Robin's feeling as Lorrie Nichols did in the first game, not able to find it. And after having such a great tournament as Robin has had, moving into the #1 position in the 5th round, not giving it up.
You know, I think the hardest thing in the world for both the women's tour and the men's tour is for a tournament top seed to lead that event and have to come back and win it one more time on national television. And the top seeds win barely 50% of the time. And emotionally, that's really hard on you. Oh, there's a break of sorts for Robin Romeo. Washout left there by Donna Adamek.
Giving it room, Denny, and that ball just sailed. As we talked about earlier, some of the players didn't feel that they could trust it out to the right, and I think this is a good reason why. It doesn't come back if you trust it too much.
A little too high on the head pin, so it's now 143 through 7 frames. It's a 43-pin lead. A double here would change the complexion somewhat. Robin inquiring and receiving a re-rack on lane 20.
Denny, if Robin could catch the double right here, she would apply pressure on Donna to continue to mark throughout the game. And this stage, you never know.
She has been nothing but high on lane 20 since the opening shot when she left the 310. A little more room here.
Gave it the room, made the adjustment, and like we saw before, leaving the weak 10. Good look at Robin's game. Not a lot of push away. Uses a lot of the approaches a lot of the professional women do. Good knee bend. She's down low. Real solid game.
can see the disappointment already beginning to show.
Well, her maximum score could only be 189. And Donna's pretty lined up.
Yeah, she's bowling at a 203 clip right now, so. But stranger things have happened. Wendy MacPherson missed a single pin spare in the 9th to give Donna a shot, so.
That's right.
Just does not seem to have any kind of reaction like she did throughout the week. Ball's hooking early and too much. She's obviously moving.
Yes, she is. Her, her slow speed got her where she is, and yet it seems to be that that's what's hurting her here.
Now, we talked about the speed of the ball consistently on the synthetics, and many people feel that the slower speeds are conducive to much better pin carry. And throughout the week, I think that was the case for Robin. And today, you're right, the ball's hooking early on her, and she's just not getting a good reaction.
And having the perfect speed, as you might say. Not too hard, not too soft, just the right amount of arc for today. However, she did have carry problems there in the first game. And she see that ball arcing out from the inside to the outside and just coming right back in. I think Donna can feel this title slipping into her fingers.
Mm-hmm. Has to be a nice feeling. Good shot there in the 9th. Well, it's a 56-pin advantage, and possible 233 for Donna Adamek.
I think Donna felt that if she got that last strike, she clutched it, and her reaction was such as you see her there just taking a big breath, a little shaky.
Eyes are starting to tear up a little bit.
Watch her reaction after this shot. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see it, but she couldn't have thrown it any better. And she's going to come back and, yeah.
Daddy lockups, as they say.
After 5 years of not winning a title, it's a great moment for her.
It's been a frustrating time, and speaking of frustration, Robin Romeo, a classy player that she is, kind of banging away a little bit, going to shoot 177 if she strikes out, and when she leaves here this evening, just going to think back about what might have been had she been able to get off to a little quicker start.
It's awful when you constantly relive what happened, and you do that for days.
I think a lot of players, if they bowl a real good game, and they're right there and they don't lose or they don't win, it's one feeling. But when you come out and it takes you 7 or 8 frames to get lined up, she's obviously lined up now, that's the heartbreaker,
You bet. You just think, boy, if I could have just maybe made those adjustments or just found that out just a little sooner, maybe things could have been different.
Yeah, look at this. See, she finishes with the last 4. Just too little too late. 177, the final score for Robin Romeo, who will have to wait perhaps until next year to win the Sam's Town National Pro-Am. In her career, now twice in the last 4 years, she's finished second here in Las Vegas.
Well, I tell you what, if you're going to finish second, this is the place to do it, because she's still taking home a nice check of $15,000.
That's a good point there.
That was more than our winner made last week, so I'm sure Robin is happy with that.
Well, we'll be right back. There's the winner of the Sam's Town National Pro-Am as she finishes up here in the 10th, Donna Adamek.